Smith, no. You are misguiding us. Smith, no. SMRINOV. See, the answer is no. See, the answer is no. See how much you are learning. We started a simple ANOVA, then we went for descriptives, then we went to F table, then we went to post-hoc test, and within post-hoc test, again we tried to go for a normality check, and within normality check, which one to be rightly applied. Now, continue with one non-parametric test. What is the non-parametric alternative of one-way ANOVA? No, it's for paired samples. Anyone? Huh? Non-parametric alternative for one-way ANOVA. Because two of the groups are not following normality. So majority of the variables or groups are not following normality. Very good. Okay, it's a critical values one-way ANOVA. For the same data, critical values ANOVA results, please. So we talk about critical values. What is the test value we are going to get? Any idea? So we talk about critical values test. What is the test value we are going to get? Is it chi-square? We'll check what value we are going to get. Test value. It gives additional theory also. What is required for a critical values test? No. Now see, your article. Now we have done critical values one ANOVA. It's given some conditions. Minimum requirement is 2 observations per group. Definitely we have. Then no normality is needed because 2 of the groups didn't follow. Then hand is small versus valid even for less than 5 group, and unequal size also no problem. Okay. Now continue further. Matching ANOVA plus Sheffield's finding. Now remember we did this one, but we need critical values, test values, please. So we got a H value, if you remember, critical value is H. Sometimes we do get a chi-square value. Now remember, all these are on A can do in no time, but I would expect you to do manually first, then check with A. It also does mistakes. So data analysis is easier, no? Data analysis easier. Can you go to the next slide? Okay. If you want to note down, because these are the technical, this one, you can note down few of the softwares. Okay. Because AI usually uses R, Python, and MATLAB. When this PPT will be given you to free, you don't have to take a photo or something, but I want you to make some notes out of it. GitHub Copilot is there, Cursor is there, Julius AI for statistics. And later there is a comparison, this one a compiled table will be there. See how the what you call instructions to be given. Write a script to clean this CSV. Handle missing values via multiple imputation. You know what is multiple imputation is? Manage missing data. and plot a longitudinal growth curve. But one thing is very, you have to be careful how you give the instructions to the software or the AI tool. That is more important because it understands by its AI, its intelligence, not our intelligence. So you have to be careful about that. Okay, go to next. You can skip this initial visualization and all. Okay. This also you can skip. Okay, then comes qualitative data analysis. So what is qualitative? Because in research we have got three types of what you call types. One is quantitative research, another one is qualitative research, another one is mixed method research. So what happens in nowadays the focus is more on mixed method research where both what you call quantitative and qualitative aspects are what you call done and for a better interpretation and better understanding. So both qualitative as well as quantitative. So if I give a script to the what you call to the AI software, it develops codes, it develops subcodes, and so if you ask for a revision, it revises the codes. And one of the what you call regularly used qualitative analysis software is the NVO. And how many of you heard of this? Capital NVIVO. NVO. And how many of you know about DeepSeek? DeepSeek also does some kind of what you call qualitative analysis, but I would again I request you to go for a validation of what you have done rather than you take validate the first you take from AI and then validate by yourself. No, the first thing is better. So what it does, thematic coding, okay, initial codes for intro transcripts, saving hundreds of hours in grounded theory research. Because once you give, what you call feed the entire conversation or the script, it generates the codes. Then sentiment and narrative analysis. And this can be used in any of the sciences, especially even in forensic sciences. Not only in psychology or this one, it can be used. So sentiment and narrative analysis, okay, because it depends on the tone and emotional arc. So that also can be managed. Then you have got multilingual processing, okay, translating and analyzing global data sets without losing cultural nuance. But I have a little problem with the translation. Sometimes what happened, I took a script and tried to put in what you call Kannada. Not very what you call like that cultural nuance would be there. So can you take any paragraph and go for translate into Kannada or Hindi? Any paragraph you can hear on any paragraph.
In this AI.
Anyone. That recommendation you're going to take, fine. Okay. All of you read Kannada? See how it says. ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೆಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಮತ್ತು ನಾನ್ ಪ್ಯಾರಾಮೆಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಕ್ರಿಸ್ಕಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಎರಡೂ ಗುಂಪುಗಳ ನಡುವಿನ ಗಣನೀಯ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸಗಳನ್ನು ದೃಢಪಡಿಸಿವೆ. ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಸಿ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸೀಮಿತ ನಾರ್ಮಾಲಿಟಿ ಉಲ್ಲಂಘನೆ ಇದ್ದರೂ ಸಹ ಹಾಫ್ ಸೆಂಟೆನ್ಸ್. So this should have come first. Can you translate to Malayalam? I don't know how to read Malayalam. I know Jinsa should say about it. Okay, what is right or wrong? Jinsa can go there and read because. Can you read Malayalam? Yeah.
Parametric ANOVA, ANOVയും നോൺ പാരാമെട്രിക് ക്രിസ്റ്റൽ വാല്യൂസും ഗ്രൂപ്പ് സിയിൽ ചെറിയ നോർമാലിറ്റി ലംഘനം ഉണ്ടായിട്ടും ഗ്രൂപ്പുകൾ തമ്മിലുള്ള സാഹചര്യ വ്യത്യാസങ്ങൾ സ്ഥിരീകരിച്ചു. I need a translation for this Malayalam.
You didn't read the same thing. Okay. Okay, is it making any impact or is there a cultural nuance? Now you understand that. Because that means what? We have some difficulties even in the translation part. Can you translate to Hindi? What are the Hindi readers here? Huh? Yeah. Anyone? Quick. And script will come short.
पैरामेट्रिक एनोवा और नॉन पैरामेट्रिक क्रिस्टल वैलिस ने ग्रुप सी में मामूली समानता उल्लंघन के बावजूद ग्रुपों के बीच महत्वपूर्ण अंतरों की पुष्टि की।
I don't know. Now you understand even how the culture has got its own impact. So that is why you have to be very careful. So this is how the what you call data analysis would work. Okay, but in between, I want to talk something very important. Suppose you have some article with you. Suppose you have prepared one article, and can it fit for a Scopus Index journal? Before sending to the journal, can you have a check over it? You can open the article, the TCBT or something like that, okay? TCBT. You search for TCBT. Okay, there's one article, you can copy it. Okay, you can just show the title for them. Effectiveness of TCBT in managing anxiety symptoms in patients with the psychosomatic disorders. Now, this is the article suppose I have, and if I want to send it to a journal based on the journal requirements, okay, for example, Scopus Index journal, I go a little high. I say, can it be fit for frontiers in psychology? This is one of the topmost journal in psychology. That is Frontiers. Okay, you can copy the what you call the entire article. Go to the software paste. Okay. Can I publish this article in Frontiers in Psychology? Okay, suggest me the corrections. Frontiers. Frontiers. Frontiers in Psychology. Psychology is funny. You said my psychology. That's why. CHO, psychology. Suggest corrections. Okay, now I have fed the entire article, and now I want to know whether this article can be published or what are the suggestions from the AI tool. See now, no. The first answer is no. Unlikely to be accepted by the frontiers in psychology in its current form due to critical methodological flaws, plagiarism concerns, okay, and failure to meet rigorous standards. Here's a detailed assessment. Major barriers to publication, okay. First is already published. Okay, it's already published. So that's a one block. Okay, if it's not published, what happens? See next, okay. The next is, okay, tiny uncontrolled sample. Now it says your sample size is not fit enough, not good enough. What do you call? Sent to a good journal because sample size is only 15. Though it is an intervention study, So sample size is very low. So again, that's a pitfall in the methodology. Can you go to the next? This one. Statistical errors. See, that means you are not done the right statistics. And what they are given, okay? Reported, repeated measure, okay, okay. Okay, and 15 problems, okay. Violated normality assumptions. It has given violated normality assumptions. Okay, go to the next, okay. Fix the proper mixed ANOVA. Now it talks about mixed ANOVA. Repeated measure ANOVA. Okay, now, because since we highlighted frontiers, what is the requirement of frontiers, what is the status, and how to fix. Likewise, you can give the what you call index journals, Scopus Index, Web of Science, or PubMed. In your specific what you call discipline, you can do this. See, this is not meeting any one of the requirements of the frontiers. So now you understand the severity of the publication part. I think yesterday all you heard of publication issues. Now you understand how easy or difficult to publish in a journal. Okay. Then it gives specific text corrections also. See how at least you can improve the quality of your work. That is more important. You can improve the quality of your work by what you call giving to a tool and improve the standards. So now you don't have to go to an expert to what you call correct this. This gives all the issues. Now first one is what is started with the correction? Abstract, rewrite. First itself. Abstract, rewrite the abstract. We don't want this abstract. So, and if you ask for how to rewrite, it will give how to rewrite. Okay, it gives the idea that okay, this is the way you have to rewrite. Okay, can you go? And then methodological what do you call overhaul, how you have to do the methodological things. It asks you to correct your table. Your table also not correct. Go next, go next. Okay. Minimum what you call viable path forward. Acknowledge prior publication. Collect follow-up data because in that article there is no follow-up. You have just done pre and post. It says what is the guarantee that the therapy will or that therapy which you employed is going to continue. So go for a follow-up. So if you have a follow-up data also, the quality of your work is better. Then realistic what you call frontier strategy, how this convert the what you call convert to registered report. Nowadays, now this talks about ethical issues. Do you have what do you call ethical committee permission? IEC or Institutional Ethical Committee, whether it is approved there. You take informed consent from the patients or your target group. Everything is being it asks. Okay, go next. And you can even go for a follow-up also. Now you understand. So how to improve your quality of the article 2. Okay, you can go back again to the what do you call our slides. Now, AI in writing and publication. The first one, drafting and structuring. GenAI, okay, that's what you call, or paperpal helps maintain academic tone and flow. Where you can manage your drafting and structuring. First, you have to do manual, and once you draft and then structure it, the AI would help you to redraft and restructure. Then, citation management. In the one of the script, what we did in the review of literature, we gave the instruction, generate a review of literature on social media addiction, along with the APA citation. Then again, we gave in-text references and APA style. Now your job is made easier. Okay, that's why your research methodology can be easier using AI. But double-edged sword, what is that? It helps in non-native English speakers to bridge the productivity gap, but risks creating a flood of low-quality polished papers. So you have to be very careful while doing such jobs, okay, writing and publication. We can go to the next. Now, how to review your own paper before sending? There is a tool called as Scholar Review. Please make a note of these things because it can be very much useful for you. Scholar Review. So now it checks why is scholarly review the what they given, because it is going to have very technical aspects between a content. So the first one what it does checks for logical flow between hypothesis and conclusion. You cannot have some hypothesis here and conclude something else. So you should have a logical flow from hypothesis to conclusion. The next is detects statistical inconsistencies or p-hacking signs. Okay, where whatever you have said and if there are inconsistencies, that also is being highlighted by this scholar review. Now, how is your job? So in research methodology use of AI. Then journal matching. Sometimes you have a doubt. I have this kind of a paper, or I have got this type of paper. Which journal will be best suited for this? Because some journals accept only empirical work. Some journals will not accept review papers. So now after this, after finalizing your article, now you can ask the AI, okay, which journal is most suitable for my work. Then, don't think that only you use, even the journal people also use in the editorial office. First thing is they say, how much AI matching? Too much, and sometimes there is a human content also equivalent to what you call AI content also reported. Somebody said, no, I have written my content, but it is showing AI content. That also been there, but anyway, you have to be careful about the plagiarism issues. So, journals use AI to find the best match human reviewers, reducing the review fatigue crisis. What is review fatigue? Some people get continuous articles and they might feel what you call overburdened with. Now, if AI does a review, matching the article how other article human article reviewers have done it, so that also can be done easily. But remember, see, 60% of the researchers now use tools for article review their own paper much before sending to the journal. Next, explainable AI in research. The transparency requirement. Explainable. That's why it's called as XAI. Okay, in research, why a model made prediction, to prove why a model made a prediction. Now this is called as explainable artificial intelligence. Then comes key techniques. Okay, that's a sharpened line. Okay, say article. They look into the different models to which variables most influence the outcomes. That's also more important. What are variables which really? That is why nowadays publishing an article in a good journal is very difficult job because even AI finds out mistakes. So you have to be very careful, and your work should be really serious. And traceability, moving from AI said so to the AI identified these three specific data patterns. Now, which you didn't do, but AI did it. Then comes the goal, building epistemological trust, ensuring AI results are scientifically defensible, not just statistically significant. See how the flow goes. That's why explainable AI in research. Can we go to next? Okay, now if you see, I've given a few of the what you call AI tools which can be useful for you from step one to step last. That's from discovery to writing. Wherein phase one discovery, the recommended AI tools are. I think you should have this with you so that it will be easier for you. The recommended tools are Consensus, Elicit, Perplexity, Pro. And initially we had all Airtel. We got, and then few days after some time it asked, okay, no pay. Do you remember that? Okay. It's at 1 year. Huh? Hmm? Yeah, but it didn't happen, right? Yeah. So it's on perplexity pro, right? Okay. So there for the initial this one. Then mapping. Okay, research rabbit and lit maps. These are the tools for mapping, research rabbit and lit map. And then for analysis, you have got Julius AI, NVO, Julius AI for quantitative data analysis, NVO for qualitative. You can add even DeepSeek. Your DeepSeek does what you call qualitative analysis, and maybe nowadays Claude, because now Claude is actually taking over. Then for writing part, it's paper palm, Writeful or notebook, LM. So can you go to it's copied, right? This is what is required for you people to what you call this one. When go to next one? Okay, but now ethical considerations and challenges, because yes, how ethically we use and what are the challenges we have. See, starting from the first one, the black box problem, lack of transparency in how some models reach conclusions. Okay, already this time is up. Okay, I'll finish this one or two slides. Okay. So one is a black box problem where lack of transparency in how some AI models reach conclusions. We still don't know, because what happens in the background while processing, we have no idea. The second thing is hallucination. The risk of AI inventing citations or data points, essentially use ground AI like a RAG. Sometimes what happens, as I said in the beginning, it brings some references which are connected ones which are not directly referable. I got ones, my own reference in Frontiers, but it was connected to something else. But somehow it dragged my name. That can happen. Then bias, inheriting human biases from its training data. So fourth point, authorship. Where does the human end and the AI begin? The need for clear disclosure in methodologies. You have to do that. After all doing this, who claims authorship? You or the AI? Okay. Go to next. Okay, go next. So now integration of all stages, the closed loop research we talked in the beginning, the closed loop. Okay, starting with what I call a literature review, identifies a gap. A agent drops a Python simulation. A lab robot, okay, that's in the physics, okay, runs the test. AI statistician, analysis the results, and AI author drafts the manuscript. But your role is the orchestrator. That means what? We no longer do the tasks. We no longer do the tasks, but we manage the system that does them. But our focus should be on the logic, ethics, and creative direction. So you can go to next. Okay, we conclude now. So all this what you call things are required. Human in the loop. Okay. So you have to be careful. Then new skills required. Prompt engineering for researchers and advanced digital literacy is required. And in the conclusion, the closing quote is: AI won't replace researchers, but researchers who use AI will replace those who don't. So thank you very much for patient listening of the first session. And if there are any clarifications or doubts, let me try to clarify. Feel free. No questions?
Sir, do you think the conventional software that they were using, Jampi, SPSS, all those are redundant now?
It's going to be because especially in Java, they give the tables, but they don't give interpretations. But the advantage of this AI software is they give interpretations also. So people usually go for user friendly. Yes, but many doubts. Ah,
We are refining our answer.
okay.
Now, just whatever instruction we have got, will not be considered as AI data later.
There's some extent of using an AI in all the data related.
You mean AI content?
AI,
AI content. Still, no standards have been established. They might come. Therefore, you can use one of the like plagiarism. Okay, 10% or 20% or 30%. It might come because it's going to come soon. Because otherwise, it will become 100% AI content. Okay. I see some of the scripts which we get for assignments and all. It is 100% AI generated, and the language we can definitely make out. And some of the notations which I don't want to tell here, which can clearly make out this is AI generated content. Few of the notations use the language part especially, which is basically American text. So the language is very different. So you can easily make out it's AI content or not.
So with regard to declaration,
Uh,
is it fine to declare wherever we have used it or the end of the paper or thesis?
It is better to the transparency is maintained.
No, I mean to say where the specific part has been used or at the end of the thesis on the paper.
It depends how the what you call the university guidelines expect. See, nobody said don't use AI. Nobody said don't use AI. But I am telling don't depend on AI. Huh? AI should be only adjunct for it. But AI itself not be the complete process. But what is happening is nowadays with the students, they go for 100% AI content. That is a problem. Where they don't learn anything. The creativity is lost and AI become more creative. That it depends on the university guidance whether to give, but you have to acknowledge if you use AI content or not, so that you are more transparent about it. Because later, as someone has said, AI will identify, okay, you have taken this material, have you acknowledged it? More questions? Okay, if there are no questions, thank you very much. And Sunil, how much? What's that? This one now said tea break, right? Okay. Okay, we'll rejoin again, but something more relaxing, enhancing research visibility. is on enhancing research visibility and impact. Sometimes you do your dissertations, even at the master level and all, and it's permanently kept in the cupboard and never opened. So zero visibility. Huh? There are some departments, let me not tell you which are the specific departments. Research is done, books are printed and permanently kept in the cupboard and never opened. So your research should not be like that. And why? And how to enhance? You have more than 50 strategies. So we have classified into different categories. Sunil, you can go to the next slide, please. So, when you talk about research visibility, which are the few fields are mostly what you call identified, recognized in India? Irrespective of the what you call specific this one, few of the topics are more widely visible. In medical, I want to be very specific.
Medicine farm.
Pharma, in that pharma, I want to be very specific. Huh? No. In medicine, it's a cancer research. If you see why? Because it's a need of the, and that's why everybody is serious about what you call the cancer research aspects. And during Corona pandemic, the things are shifted on Corona effects. I don't know how many of you know about COVID-19. So that time all switched over to what you call that kind of visibility. And now, any idea? Of course, cancer research and post-COVID effects and all. Renewable energy. Then mental health. You know the recent statistics. 25% of the Indian population, or specifically Karnataka population, is suffering from mild to severe psychopathology. That means every 1 out of 4 will have some problems, including me and you also. Hmm? Now remember, so now why that visibility and mental health, and it's affecting a lot, and you are not talking about this. How many of you heard of popcorn brain syndrome? Have heard of this? Popcorn brain syndrome. Please refer when you have got free time. It's especially students are not able to concentrate when the classes are going on. So sometimes you cannot blame them why they are not having. And whatever you said, teachers are here, many, okay? Whatever you explained today or now, after 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you ask, they don't remember. Next day you forget. So we are going to talk about what you call Android addiction or screen time addiction. So how the screen time addiction. And now remember how easily and widely one's research work can be what you call found, accessed and recognized by other researchers. And if you see most of the top journals, Science, Nature, or even Journal of Medicine, there are top rated journals. You can find what you call your frontiers. You can find most of the studies are having a lot of impact and they have got a visibility. Why? Because it is based on the need of the hour. And cancer is increasing day by day. And in India, it's rapidly increasing because we eat chemicals rather than vegetables. We eat chemical coated things, including pastries and other eatables. Then, once research output are discoverable and seen with the beyond your discipline, how many people are really referring to your work? That is the visibility. So, we say in the research, there are two concepts. Either you publish and flourish. And if you don't publish, you perish. Now, this is what is called in research. That means what? The visibility should be high. And how we go about it, we'll see this one. So why now we are going to talk a lot about H index. We are going to talk about citations. So that time we get to know what you call the academic showcasing of your work. Can you go to next? Okay. Citation, sharing, and applied. Three things are important. How many people have what you call cited your work? What kind of sharing, data sharing, and other things you have? And the third aspect is applied in policy and practice. Now, if I say something like what you call, why okay, on a general level, why midday meal scheme was introduced in Karnataka, and why very successful? Huh?
Student dropout issues.
See, one by one answers are coming. One is malnutrition, but more than that, dropout and the ultimate policy making is what? Increase the literacy rate. If the students are working or like and all, they're not able to come because of the poverty, related to poverty. There's another project, bicycle for female girl child. You know what's meant? The girls involved in domestic work, and because of this domestic distance part, the girl child was not able to reach the school, and that's why a lot of what I call hurdles, dropouts are not even registering. Now, provided cycle. Of course, Chelena Chitar happened once, but that's a different thing. That's bad side effects of what I call bicycle program. Likewise, providing vitamin tablets in rural areas for the pregnant females, all which are useful for what you call policy making, and definitely research has helped. And institutions and funders also value visibility. Suppose later we are going to talk about how many fundings you have got or university has got. And when somebody funds you, they look into the what is the visibility of it, what is the impact of it. If there's no visibility or impact, they need not fund you. Because there are a lot of agencies would fund you, provided they find what you call very effective, what you call visibility and impact. So that's why this talk would be. Can we go to next? So how you measure? We call matrices. So the first matrices is traditionally citation-based matrices. Second part is usage altmetrics that track online attention and access. Then journal and platform integrate. Now see the first one. Go to the next. Traditional citation-based matrices. That's a citation count. That's a citation count where you can find number of times your paper is cited by other scholar works. Higher counts usually mean greater academic record. That means if your work is very popular, how many people refer your work? For curiosity's sake, again because I'm more from psychology, how many of you what you call tried Sigmund Freud's number of citations? Can you go to the what you call just one small request? Okay. Go to you just type in the search Sigmund Freud H index. Then you understand why Sigmund Freud is so famous. Okay, just click Google Scholar and Sigmund Freud there down. You know the citations? Cleveland 72,176. I don't want to compare Sigmund Freud with me. Let me check Lancet D'Souza. Whether I see at least I come at least 1% of it. See now, where is 3 lakhs and where is 1,000? Now you know how difficult to get a citation. So these are the matrices, okay, and every year it shows, and these are all shows what you call academic show how many people would refer your articles for the global. Can you go back to the slide? So other part is what you call H index in the traditional way. That's author line. What I just showed is author line matrices. You know how H index is calculated? Any idea? Because why I'm asking this, because whenever you go for interviews for the posts, they ask what is your H index, how many people cited your work, okay, how many articles published in Scopus Index journals, PubMed or Web of Science. They will not ask anything else. That's from the research point of view, and of course, academic point, your subject knowledge. Can you go to next? Then the last part is journal and platform indicators, where journal impact factor. It's not SJIF, please understand. Because there are a lot of what you call things which we get confused. You have to go for Thomson Reuters index. Please remember to get a real what you call journal impact factor.
So can you repeat?
Thomson Reuters. Can you go for Thomson Reuters index? Now its name is changed. No, that is not come. You go there, you go to Google. Okay, Thomson Reuters impact factor. Now it's what you call renamed as Clarivate analysis. So you want to know whether really your article is published in a good impact factor journal, go for Clarivate analytics or Thomson Reuters, because now it's called as a Clarivate analytics, which gives you what you call the real fact, not SJ. That's what you call subject journal impact factor, SJIF, which is totally misleading. So think of that subject journal impact factor. Can you go back? So site score also there will be the journal. Then SJR is the Shimago journal rank. I don't know how many of you know about this. Shimago. And why Shimago? How prestigious a journal is within the broader citation network. Shimago ranking is basically for the known part of prestigiousness. Then there's SNIP, source normalized impact per what you call per paper. How strong a journal citation performance is relative to its field. Because impact factor is not calculated for a single article, it's a what you call for a journal. How many times the journal articles have been cited again and again. So that's why every year the impact factor keeps changing. Now 26 impact factor still not you can calculate. It will calculate in 27. So now we can see only 2025's journal impact factor. So all these things are this one. And then repository usage. You know what is repository? Where storage of things. View downloads in open access repositories. Like each institution, if you had repositories, so how many downloads have come? So that makes what you call also important, because not mere viewing, your downloads also have got some impact. So you can check in each journal number of downloads and all, and sometimes even each you can say site. So it gives the idea of what have been cited. Okay. Then, as we with this one we talked about downloads and views, and Altimetrics scores because track mentions in the news, blogs, and social media other than journals, policy documents, and reference managers. So this is called as Altimetrics, and these are the two. This one, Donut and Plumex. So if you refer this, definitely get the Altimetrics of the particular article other than the journal. Go next. Now, before we start, what are the strategies? We have to think of a research problem or a work topic. So how it would be? See the first point. Choose a topic that matches your interest, expertise, and available time. It's not that guide is giving something and you are doing something. No. It should match your interest. If you don't have interest, your work will not progress. Right? So it should match that I want to do something and my guide is also supporting that. Yes. Then expertise. How is it just you are going to do data collection research are going to do by someone else like AI? Now, how much expertise you have in the entire research methodology matters. Third part is what you call available time. Yeah, you want to have a mega project, but you have got only 6 months or 1 year of time. So you have to plan accordingly. That's the first point. Next point, make sure the topic is novel, specific, clear, and manageable. Why novel? In psychology, we say, don't study job satisfaction. We are all oversatisfied. Don't study stress because stress is overstressed. But can you study academic stress? Academic stress. Can you study the final parts of it? Novel. And what is currently happening? That is more important. If you refer those days, this one during Corona time, the focus is on what was happening that time. Like the treatment for COVID-19 or coronavirus, where most of the articles are what you call published on that because that was a need of the hour. And now, what is what you call focus for immediate research? What's the focus now? If at all you are doing research, huh? Sustainable. Okay. Apart from that, huh? Much more than that. This popcorn brain syndrome is working here. We started with the research problem. West Asian war, West Asian crisis, an Indian scenario. We started with the gas trouble. No, that is what you have to think of. And it has got more validity and this one acceptance because something very novel and current in nature. Or if at all we are talking about, I don't know how many of you know suicide rate is increasing in India, especially more among young adults. Now, can you think about that? Or check whether it's a research gap or unanswered problem. That's why I said, don't work on job satisfaction, don't work on stress because there's no gap at all, it's all worked out. Enough. Next point is ensure the topic is academic, social, and practical relevance. It's not just you're doing the sake of doing, no. It should have academic relevance, practical, and social relevance. So if that is there, definitely the idea is not just what you can do your research, but can it be publishable apart from your dissertation? The last point is okay. Review recent literature to confirm the enough sources and data are available. Because if you have enough research, definitely you can identify the research gaps, and based on that research gap, you can formulate your research problem. Now, what are the strategies? We have to go really quickly. Go next. See, these are the strategies which will be going fast because one is the publishing strategies, then it's the dissemination strategies, impact and outreach strategies, data and software sharing, online presence and branding, writing and communication strategies, funding and grant writing, mentorship and networking, research impact assessment, ethical considerations, and there are several additional strategies which go in total more than 50. So we'll start with one by one quickly. So publishing strategies to have better what you call enhanced visibility and impact. So first thing is publish in high impact journals. So identify which journals have got high impact. Think of science and nature. Can we publish high impact journals? At least in your subject, identify. So for that, you require Clarivate analytics. So once you have got the climate analytics, what you call journal impact factor, and remember, it will take minimum 6 months to 1 year. And usually the rates will be 10 to 20% or 25%. More than 70% of the articles will be rejected or not accepted. That's a good journal. And sometimes some of the journals acceptance rate, you will get a shock, 10%. Maybe less than that. So this is one thing is publishing that can have a better visibility. The second one is open access publishing. You know why open access publishing? Because sometimes some journals they just give only abstracts, but they will not give full articles. But in open access, you have got a full article. So that's why it's very clearly written in the journals. What you call either the journal is open access journal or you have to pay, and the payment comes in dollars. Remember, and they ask per paper or per page. So that also will be there. Then comes preprint services. Okay, there are some what you call this one. You can upload preprint services means before it published. So you can have a preprint and it can be uploaded with the permission, either XIV or by RXIV to gain early feedback and citations. Or you can write book chapters. Sometimes edited book would come and you can contribute a chapter on it. And by contributing a chapter on it, you can manage better your visibility and all. Then you have got monographs, right? Comprehensive books on your research topic to establish your expertise. So under publishing only, you have got at least 5 strategies how to publish, so that you can enhance your research visibility and impact. Can I go to next? So next, dissemination strategies. How do you publicize your work? How do you publicize your work? See the first one, conference presentations, not conference readings. There are a lot of difference between presentation and reading. Some people will go there and read the PPT one by one, and they say paper presented. I say papers read. You are a PowerPoint reader than a PowerPoint presenter. So I want you to, and this has got a high impact. You know why? Here, usually on offline mode, later in online mode, because in a what you call good conference, there are many audience will be there, participant will be there. Once you present your paper, after some time, during the break, they may come and ask you, I'm also interested in your work. Apart from what you call the general listening, there are some people might come to you and asking, can you be a collaborator with me? Or I am interested in your work. Can we have a what you call work? This I have personal experience. So last trip when I went to Russia, so I presented a paper on Instagram addiction and its effects. At least 2 or 3 of them came. They said, we are interested in this kind of work. Can we collaborate with you? I said, why not? Now, don't you think the visibility has increased? The impact has been increased. So conference is not to just get certificates. And even if you read a paper also, you get a certificate. Even if you present also, you get a certificate. Sometimes people without presentation also get certificate. That also be there. Okay. Now whatever it may be, that's on the lighter side. Okay. So you will have a network with the others. And this can extend more and more. See the next one, webinars and workshops. Again, you can showcase your what you call research work through webinars. And this is a kind of workshop where if it's on a specific topic, yes, definitely it attracts at least few people in the audience or the researchers. Definitely you can have a better showcasing. Public lectures and talk. Need not be all the time purely on the research. At least on the current events, one can have public lectures and talks. Based on that also you can improve your research visibility. See the next point, social media, one of the powerful media. Okay, where it can reach globally. That's why sometimes you declare something, in no time you get the comments. Why? If it's interesting. And sometimes you get negative comments also. But remember, whether it's a positive comments or negative comments, you are reaching people. Who those people like your comments or this one, they'll have a thumbs up. Okay. Those who don't like, they'll have thumbs down. But it has reached them. Then blogging. How many of people do the? How many bloggers are here? How many bloggers are here? Only one in the entire. No bloggers here. What's wrong with you people? Huh? You have a freedom to express in a what you call in a rational way. I don't say irrational way. So you have a freedom to express, and you do it. People have made money through blogging. How many of you know about this? And they are becoming famous, right? There are YouTubers, right? So these are things where you can showcase your talent, or research aptitude. Can I go to next? Sorry. Then impact and outreach strategies. I was talking in the beginning. One is the policy briefs. So what is this in policy brief? If you see, research findings in what you call concise and accessible format for policy makers and decision makers. Suppose before what you call starting some major project, why the governments will have a pilot project? This is where it can be useful for policy making and decision making because it's a pilot project. And pilot project is going to be successful, it can be implemented in a larger way. And this research is done by so and so. Based on their research, we have implemented this. Now you are now on a public level, you have been showcased. Then media outreach. Engage with journalists and media outlets to share research stories. But how many people are willing to see it, we don't know. We are more bothered about reels and comments and Facebook and Insta. But really, do we talk about the research part? The third one, public engagement. Science fairs and citizen science projects. There are mobile buses are moving on, mobile labs are moving, mobile libraries are moving on. How many of us are really serious to look into? Or some science fair is being conducted. And I think the access is more in the rural areas than the urban areas. At least in rural areas, they go inside the bus and see what is that science fair and what is happening. But I don't think it happens in what you call urban areas where we are least bothered about it. That's my personal experience which I've seen. Then collaborations, where collaborations can get you a big name. Depending upon the article subject part. If it's psychology, collaborating with the hospital, collaborating with the NGO. If it's social work, collaborating with the NGO. Now, the collaboration party can enhance your research visibility because that's why MOUs are being signed. Why MOUs are being signed? Okay, we are collaborating and we are working together. So that's another strategy, and this NGO can bring your name up. And if you remember, if I remember, how Colgate toothpaste is collaborating with the JSS Dental College. How much work is being done? And the white teeth or whatever it may be, okay, milky white or whatever it may be. But a lot of collaboration work is going on, and because of that, the JSS institution name is coming up. So this is how you can improve or increase your visibility. Then interdisciplinary research, we are totally ignored. I keep my psychology compartment this side, others keep their compartment this side. We don't know what others do, and others don't know what we do. A simple example from again back to JSS. One person came with the what you call idea. How many of you know xylene, where whenever you put a what you call fill a petrol and the fumes come out, it's not good for the physical health. Okay, xylene. I think it's called a xylene. And imagine a person who works there. A person who works there, who fills the petrol. And per day, how many of vehicles influence? And how much inhale would go? I gave him a simple experimental study. Make two groups. One with one is the rubber flap with the gun, which exactly closes the what do you call the petrol hole. Another without that. Study for few days and see the difference because ultimately they have to go for biochemical measurements. The candidate said, idea is good, sir. He came after a few days. Idea is good, but my guide is not accepting. Where is interdisciplinary? Another part, I'll tell you. Again, go back to Justice Dental College. One person used some Ayurvedic chewing gum to reduce dental caries. We use regular chewing gum, which might increase dental caries. So here they used a gum, what do you call gum or what do you call chewing gum. I said, very good idea. Why not you collaborating with the pharmacy people? Where with the pharmacy people, you can identify what are the active ingredients which control the caries. Again, very good idea, sir. But my guide is not willing to talk to pharmacy department. Now, where is interdisciplinary research? We did long back one study. Orthodontics and shyness. Orthodontics and shyness. Multidisciplinary. Because of your denture, you might feel shy. We call it a technical cut as malocclusion. There's a class 1 malocclusion, class 2, class 3 normal. And more malocclusion, they might feel shy. We did a study. And it's published in no time. But it became a multidisciplinary. So how much collaboration you have with the interdisciplinary departments within an institute or within a college? Now, Philos, how many departments you have? Or there are people from Reva University. How many departments you have? You have even I think you have even engineering there. So you can go for wide level of what you call sharing of knowledge with the multidisciplinary research, which is beneficial for both and which can enhance the research output and which can enhance your visibility. But unfortunately, in India, multidisciplinary research is not encouraged much because everything is compartmentalized. Go next. Data and software sharing was another part. Once we publish the thesis, we close the thesis. Forget about data sharing. We are scared to give data. I don't know why. Data sharing in ethical sense, in article, having all the copyrights of this one can enhance your research visibility. See the next one, software sharing. Not software piracy, software sharing, because nowadays so few softwares are available which are what you call license free, where you can share the software and you can do a lot of things with this software. Then data visualization, okay. How my data is being what you call conceptualized and pursued by others. How many of you already published articles? Only. How many of you published articles? Except one here. No one has published articles. In Maharaja's College, the undergraduate student also publishes paper nowadays. Not when a lower level, I don't say what you call high index revision, but we encourage our students to publish articles. Now imagine the data visualization, how it comes. If an undergrad can publish papers, why not you? I'm not expecting that you have to publish immediately on at least a peer-reviewed journal in your subject. Yesterday you didn't hear the talk. You can meet me later. I'll tell you. Okay. How to okay? How to publish? Okay, it's a good question of how to publish articles. Okay, you need to have what you call a good research methodology. You need to have a good research problem. You have to collect data. Which is your subject? Business. You can do wonders. You can use your data, or you can do even secondary data. On a simpler type, Sensex trends during COVID and after COVID, and see the Sensex trends. It itself could be one article. Within that, you can go further what you call bifurcate on a specific what you call trends, like a specific type of this one. For example, gold price. That's a very good study nowadays. And impact of war on gold pricing. How many of you know? Okay, since it's an interesting question. In this what you call volatile condition, one person made 240 crores in the share market. Can it be a case study for business administration? Within a day, a person invested and got 240 crores. It was there in the newspaper. Can you do research on those things? His lifetime is made. Huh? And whether it's reinvested, that's a secondary thing. So such things really catch your eyes. So that also data visualization you can do. Can you go to next set? Okay, online presence and branding. Nowadays we are into branding, right? So see the first option. That's what you call personal website. How many of you are at least seen in at least few of the websites? Any of you? You are there in the website? If not personal websites. If at all, if you are interested, later sometime. Okay, Sunil. Just type Lancet issues in Google. I don't want to talk about others. Lancet issues are Mysore, still specifically, okay. See now? From LinkedIn to you can keep on going down, okay? You can keep on scrolling. So how much you are on the website? Don't you think it definitely increases your research visibility? It enhances. Okay, come back to the slides, please. How many have got Google Scholar profile? Have you made a Google Scholar profile? I showed mine. Have you made your Google Scholar profile? Let it be one article. Doesn't matter. You make one article. Even if it's what you call one cited by others, you get a H index of 1. Even if cited by others one time, your what you call H index is 1. So you do one thing. You prepare a Google profile. Thank you, government. Please make, because otherwise you don't know how many people are citing your work. Those are already published papers. Go for a Google profiling. That's why you get citations and H index. The next part is ORCID and Scopus ID. I have both ORCID and Scopus ID. How many of you got ORCID or Scopus ID? You know, all these things are asked during some interviews and all. So you don't understand the importance of them right now. So I was asked for to give a lecture in the June in Indonesia. You know, first thing they asked, they didn't ask my designation. The first question they asked, do you have a Scopus ID? So I had to ask one of my librarian friend, can you search my Scopus ID? And he gave my ID and sent it. Within no time they selected me. Okay, you are one of the speakers. So more than other things, Scopus ID or ORCID nowadays mostly asked. So have this Scopus ID or ORCID. And how many of you in research gate and academia? I think when they scroll my name, you saw academia and research gate. Are you the member of it? Please be a member of it. You have to just do few what you call seconds job to just add your name and profile. Either it could be Academy Edu or it could be in ResearchGate, Google Scholar, ORCID ID, Scopus ID. All these are required to showcase you more. Then LinkedIn. At least you are in LinkedIn. Hmm? Are you LinkedIn? No? Okay, good at least. And in the United States and all, the first they ask your LinkedIn ID. You believe it or not, in any your visa interviews and all, there and if you are going for a job, definitely LinkedIn ID is asked. So have one LinkedIn ID and don't keep on changing it. That is not a good idea. Huh? Can you go to next? Okay. How to impress and how to get more what you call visibility. The first one is clear and concise writing. Sometimes we write, then we puzzle ourselves. Why did I write like this? Now in research language, you have to be very clear. It should be clear, concise, and engaging research papers where the principle is minimum words, maximum inference. You have to use minimum words and it could infer more. You write 10 pages and not in one page has been inferred of noise, but you write one page and get 10 pages of inference. That is the way to write. Americans are very good in writing, believe it or not. We work this much, we show only this much. The opposite is Americans work this much and they make a idea that it is so much. That's the skill of writing. So develop that. Definitely you can enhance the research this one. Effective storytelling, how to narrate also more important. You require that writing skills, effective narration. So narration we sometimes will fail. And strong visuals. That's why journals expect high quality figures and tables. But problem is they charge. The more you give, the more they charge. And the charges comes in dollars. $1 is 93.224 paisa or something as of now. Now imagine. Then public speaking training. How many of you got that public speaking training? Where? This public speaking also and doing a social research. And when the people talk about this, for example, if you talk about the social problem, what's the current social problem? War, that's over now. Okay. Trump is trying to close it down. Okay. What are other social problems currently?
Mental health issues.
That's also one.
Communication.
Much more than that. Social problem.
LPG shortage.
Huh?
LPG shortage.
There are a lot of domestic, sir.
Relationship issues.
Relationship issues. Poverty, okay. Climate change, okay. Pollution.
Yeah.
Adulteration in food items.
Adulteration, food and items. See how many ideas are coming up. Okay.
Sleep disorders.
Sleep disorders.
Inflation.
Inflation, right? Nobody is talking about increasing divorces. Huh? Reduced fertility. That's why IVF centers are increasing day by day. Can someone talk about this in a public level and give some figures or statistics on those? Definitely your research visibility will increase. And not to offend the female group here, delayed marriages. I'm not trying to offend you, no. I'm telling the general trend. Why it's happening? Again, I told in the morning, the suicidal rates, especially in among young adults, increasing. That will be a topic of debate which can enhance a lot. Can you go to next? How we get into? How many of you know Ford Foundation? Huh? How many of you know Ford Foundation? How many of you know Bill Gates Foundation? So identify those what you call foundations. That itself is a big thing that you are being funded by such great agencies which fund for research. Of course, we have got DST, UGC, ICSSR and all. Okay. But even then, can you go to some international agencies and get a good funding? Okay. So because the tag itself, the funding tag agency which we are tagging with itself can have a big boost for our what you call enhancing our research visibility. And don't think that they just give money, including Infosys. And because some of the companies have got CSR, corporate social responsibility funds, that also you can utilize. But how many of us really serious in doing that? But you have to write a strong proposal. So to write a strong proposal, you require a lot of skills. To acquire a lot of skills, you have to study a lot. You have to read a lot, and you should have research aptitude. Definitely, you can write a strong proposal. Then, building strong collaborations. That's why I talked about what you call those with commerce people. You can deal with the banking sector. You can have a MO with the banking. Those with the psychology. You can with the hospital. Those with the management. You can with the hospital management, whichever is nearby. But all the things is, do you have a strong collaborator with you? Which again, one is having the collaboration and one is a multidisciplinary research. Both can be managed better. Next. Then mentorship. I know more because of my guide, because my guide was so strong. The highest article citations comes because of my guide. So when you have got a strong mentorship, definitely yes, and you can be a mentor later. So that enhances yours as well as your students' research visibility and impact. So that talks about mentorship. Then networking. I talked about already about this. Attending workshops or conferences definitely brings a lot of interaction with others. And if your work is interesting, definitely you will be recognized a lot. And nowadays it's very easy because we have a technology. Technology can do a lot. Through technology, we can interact and we can do a lot. So, even the what you call networking, then joining professional organizations. Every subject has got professional organizations. For psychology, we have got National Academy of Psychology. Okay, Clinical Psychological CPSI, Clinical Psychological Society of India. Then I'm again talking about more of psychology because then Indian Academy of Applied Psychology. There are several such. International Academy of Applied Psychology, APA, American Psychological Association. Likewise, in your own field, are you a member of it? Because if you are a member, you have got a lot of what you call facilities where if any conference is held under their aegis, your what you call registration fee is 50%, and you will be given chance to present because you are a member. So be a member of these professional organizations, which you will end up with a lot of benefits. And once it is there, it's much easier to showcase your research talent or research publications, which automatically enhances your research visibility and impact. So can you go to next? Then, how do you assess your own research impact assessment? One has to track citations day by day. And you know the happiness it gives when the citations are increasing. There's a different kind of what you call psychological what you call happiness which you get, because the more the citations day by day you increase, that means you are getting a motivation to publish more. Instead you start with one. After a few days it will become 2. And suddenly it might jump into 10. You saw Sigmund Freud citation. This year, already I think 2000 plus or 20,000 plus, I don't know, I forget. Your own citations you keep tracking. The more it increasing, it shows that okay, your work is being referred by others. So tracking citation one is important. Alt metrics already we talked about it. How many people are what you call looking into your work? Then impact factor. When I say frontiers in psychology, I'm proud to say that I have published because in psychology, that journal is most circulated journal. Because likewise in our own subject field, you have few of the journals which are most circulated and having highest impact factor. Now, can you think of those? The next one is H index, which I talked about it. How many of you know what is the idea behind H index? The more you go to the higher level, acquiring one H index is also difficult. It goes in a different calculation. If you have got one article cited once, you get 1. To get it to H index of 2, your 2 articles should be cited twice. So that means actually 4. If it is 3 means 3 articles should be minimum time cited by 333. Now it goes to 9. If I say my H index is 18 or 19, that means 18 articles have been minimum, they have to be what you call cited by others minimum 18 number of times. I'll just show you. I can go to the website and type Lancy, this is the H index. It's there already. Google Scholar down, it's there, okay. See now, it says 18. Though one of the article is cited 60 times, I get H index of only 1. So the second article, that's what I was talking about, the International Journal of Psychology, okay, 53 times, but now the H index will be 2. Then third article, 40 times cited, but your H index is only 3. So keep on scrolling up, keep on scrolling. Okay, now it stopped here. Now it stopped here. That means 18 articles have been cited minimum of 18 times. So it is 18 into 18. Are you getting the point? 18 into 18. So to get now my H index 19, now this has to be one more citation has to come for 19. And I want to have a citation of 20, H index of 20. Now, this should be cited 3 times more. 17 plus 3 is 20. This should be cited 2 times more, so that this will be 20. And these two will be 1 time. So 1, 2, 4 plus 3. If 7 times these articles are what you call cited by others, then my H index will be 20. Now you know how difficult it is to reach one step above and above. Initially it is easier. Now this is the criteria of H index. That's why they ask how much H index you have, or what is your H index, and this gives you a real what you call metrics regarding your publication or your research visibility. Can you go to the? You can go to the next. But remember again ethical considerations. Again ethical considerations one has to take care of. First one, data privacy and security, because sometimes protect the privacy and security of your research data unless it is shared with a common platform where they are also equally responsible for it. Nowadays it's difficult to what you call have a data theft because one can easily identify. Next is ethical research practices. Adapt to the ethical guidelines and regulations in your research, because nowadays any research you do, you require ISR, Institutional Ethics Committee approval. And you have to be very careful whether it's invasive procedure or non-invasive procedure. Just because here Dr. Priyanka is here, she worked on what you call suicidal intention, right?
Ideation.
Huh?
Ideation.
Suicidal ideation among young adults. should undergo, because it's a non-invasive procedure, no blood sample collection. But they said, no, this is your train. There is a issue in this because they're getting some idea about what you call suicidation. So you have to prove that okay, ethically, okay, it is not going to affect them much. Usually in medical science, yes, because if there's a this is a blood drawing and testing and all, invasive procedures or some things are involved. But nowadays, even the sensitive things, non-invasive procedures should undergo. And nowadays, in few of the universities, any proposal should undergo institution ethical committee approval. That's one part. When they approve, the next part is you have to talk to the participants, and if they are what you call below the age of 16, parental assent, or they use a different wordings, parental assent and candidate's consent or consent and assent. So now all those things are required. Otherwise, the problem is your paper will not be published because when you send the article to the journal, they ask provide all the documents, ethical committee clearance, okay, assent form, consent form. Then sometimes they ask the data also. So all these things are required. So that's why ethical issues play a major role here. Ethical issues play a major role. Then open science practices. Okay, open science principles to increase transparency and reproducibility. Because I don't know the rule. How many of you know about this? Once you publish the article, you should keep the data for minimum of 5 years with you. Anybody can ask that data and recheck with it. And in open access, anybody can ask. So once you collect the data, it should be there at least 5 years. You may have to even have data sheets if it's particular online, offline. If it's online, you will have a Google Form sheet or something like that. That you have to keep preserved. That is a high-end ethical practice. Because somebody might get it out. How can this person get this kind of result? So at that time, you have to produce the data sheets. And sometimes journals directly ask, okay, then you have to upload the data sheet, Excel sheet or whichever the data format they ask, because the data will be with the journal people also. So even that also transparency also required. Anything more? Okay, now the last two slides, I think. What time we have to finish? Huh? Okay, another 5 minutes we'll finish. Okay. So what are the additional what do you call strategies? We discussed more than 50 plus. That's why I said. So the next one is what you call addition. Leverage AI tools, which we did in the session 1. Okay. AI portals enhance research productivity and impact. When we talk about this one, AI tools, definitely it can reach anywhere. Because AI tools have got a capacity to capture the information from any of the websites. And Claude is doing wonders. Then participate in online forums and communities. Sometimes there are free webinars are going on. You don't even have to pay. Participate in that. Contribute your ideas also. Definitely you can showcase and enhance your research with it because you can tell what you are doing, which can attract others. Okay, what you are doing, which can be found to be useful for others. Definitely yes. Then create online courses and tutorials. That's why when we talked about blogs and all, I don't know why, especially the young adults here, why you don't have blogs? Many of the young adults are so famous because of they say proud to be say I'm a blogger. I don't see anyone except 1 or 2 bands here. Nobody became a blogger here. Start with the simple ideas. I'm not saying that you have to go with the complex ideas. Start with the simple ideas. Because some people definitely look into that blog if it's interest them. The next part is what you call write popular science articles. Need not be only serious journal articles. Even a newspaper article can attract many people. So last when we what do you call published one article in Kannada Daily. By evening had some 50 to 60 calls because that popular science article was on why youngsters commit suicide and how to avoid them. Now, how many parents called us? Then they will be, my son has got the same tendency, my daughter has got the same tendency. Can we talk to you? So these are the things. Popular science.
Writing for a newspaper article when compared to research articles, there's a bit change in it. Like,
It's of more general in nature because you cannot use the technical language here.
how do you, because I'm a journalist, I do write.
You have to use a very simple language.
So I find it difficult to write the other way, write the research article,
In research article, what you have to use is what you call
technicality.
very technical. Okay, that's what the minimum word, maximum inference. Here you may have to use more words to make the what you call readers to understand. And how many of you know present in newspapers what you call reading level for which standard? Anybody, any idea? Any English dailies?
Very basic.
It is a sixth grade, and still we find it difficult to read. Now, imagine if that's the case, you have to make the language simple, and that can attract a lot. But the problem is, how many of us read dailies? That's the next question. Okay, then collaboration with the industry partners. So here, where you can talk to the industry, different industries are there. If it is what you call kind of Infosys and all, do they really have what you call work stress or job stress? Or a specific company is suffering from absenteeism? Can you have a collaboration with them? Why absenteeism? Now that can be what you call a standard work or a protocol which can be used for other what you call, if you find out some remedies and all, that can be used for other companies, so then things will be better. So that's where what you call collaborate with the industry partners, okay, where you can translate your research expert into practical part. Few of the companies insist on okay, afternoon rest or nap. How many of you know about this? That's why some research, okay, don't make them to work continuously. After the meal, give them some break, and they'll, yeah. So the what you call companies wants work output, but researchers said if you do like this, yes, there is a increased output, productive increased output or increased productivity. It is not owner has said, it's a research has said. Now that's where we talk about what you call strong. This one you call with the industry partners you collaborate. Go next. Why you have to wait for others to organize? You can organize by yourself. Right? Your institute or your university can organize workshops and invite with the different themes. Definitely you can do wonders. Then participate in policy debates. At least sometimes if you are well known, you will be invited for policy debates and all. But how that what you call popularity comes based on your work. So if your work is quality one in nature, definitely you will be identified and called for policy debates. So this should be done or this should not be done. Now I don't know recently what happened in Karnataka government. Nothing to talk about any party or something. Suddenly they dropped Hindi language from the mass card. Now this is a policy. And whether there's an intention behind, that's a different thing. Definitely some experts must have involved. Let's not talk about the pros and cons about it. We are not into that. I'm talking from purely from research point of view. So, is there any policy where the experts are involved to drop or add? Think.
It wasn't dropped.
No. Now the governor has what you call put a hold on it, but they didn't want to even put marks to add marks out of what you call 100 marks.
Grading, it was done.
Yeah. So, why it happened? Were there any experts to do that? If it's that, then it comes under what you call in participation in policy debates. Next comes start a research lab or center, which is quite difficult for you because. But if you've got enough capacity, you can do that. Let me not talk much about. Then build a strong research team. This is what my guide had. A big research team. And output used to come from every source. First input, then output. So if you've got a strong research team where everyone contributes, we publish papers in Frontiers. Number of countries involved. Forget about number of people involved. 22 countries involved. Now imagine how powerful those articles would be. We published several articles having 22 countries data collection. And from Indian side, I am the Indian collaborator. So likewise, there are 22 countries. And imagine, definitely the paper goes international. Paper will have high impact factor. Why? Because it's a pooled study of 22 countries. So that's why if you've got a good research team, you can do wonders. Definitely your research visibility and impact is high. Okay, there we finish more than 50 strategies. I'm led by another, this one, I think just 7 minutes we short of the time. Okay. Once again, thank you very much. And before we close the morning sessions, any clarifications or any doubts?
So,
Yes.
what do you actually mean by maximum inference? Because we are beginners.
Okay.
We have no clue about that. How can we deliver with minimum words, maximum inference?
You should not use too many unnecessary words. That means your vocabulary is such a powerful thing. A sentence, suppose if one idea can be conveyed by one sentence, you should not use 2 sentences. That means you require a strong vocabulary, a strong research language. That's why we say concise. Because some journals go by number of words. They say not more than 3,000 words. So you have to really concise the content, but you cannot ignore the what is called number of words, but the content should be included within those wordings. That's a certain maximum inference, so that you use powerful verbatim. So you have to reduce the verbatim in such a way that you should not lose the content, but you should convey the meaning in maximum. It requires some practice. You can read some journals, you get to know, especially the index journals, how they what you call put. And unnecessary things need not be put. Sometimes what do we put? We put unnecessary things. Suppose you are working on what you call library services in a specific, okay, in one of the example in VTU, that's Vishweshwara Technical University colleges, library services. Why do you require initial tables on number of staff members, number of books available? Do you really require? Do you require? What is the service offered? Are they satisfied or not? What is the problem with the services and what are the solutions done? Why unnecessary information? So avoid unnecessary information, automatically your article will be strong. That's what I said. Minimum wordings, maximum content. Yes.
Sir, is there any AI tool for PLS?
You can check in the net because you don't know day by day the tools are day by day new tools are invented. So you have to really check with them. And there's improvements a lot. Same tool will be improvised again and again. Like versions are coming. You started with the chat GPT. Now in chat GPT the versions are very different. Right? So that way. More questions? Expect questions from the students. See, okay.
You told us that you are using
Yeah.
Can you tell us what exactly? Because we are freelancing and we don't know.
Identify any problems among your own group or in the college. See whether you can do a study over it. On a small level, I don't expect you to do a big study, no. I'll tell you one simple thing. Recently, I think 6 months back, 1 year back, one of my students, she did a study on impact of Shakti program, Sri Shakti program Okay, on drivers and conductors. Don't you think it's a very simple and direct step? Hmm? Hmm? How this impact? Forget about the travelers. Huh? Because you know how it's working. It's a good program, but it's being misused because unnecessary people get into it. But what is the impact on the conductor and the driver? And conductors had more stress than the drivers. Hmm? Sometimes fights and all. Hmm? It looks like okay, a very common one, but there's a lot of inputs were there. But we used a structured questionnaire. And the girl was interested, no, I want to study on that. But she said, I was a victim of the travel once ago. Hmm? And if it affects me, what affects a person who is there all the time on the bus? Hmm? Think of that. So that way, you find out something very. Hmm? Or recently, another girl worked on love addiction. Love addiction among young adults. Found interesting results. Want to know? Hmm? See? We selected three groups. One is those already in love. Those are already in love. Then another group is those in the broken love. The third group is those who have intention to have love. Whom should have what you call? Which group should have more addiction? Huh?
No intention. No intention.
I didn't get.
The one which has no intention.
No, we didn't. So one of you have intention to love, but no partner. I want to have a love, but I'm not getting a partner either. See, the answer is coming. Who are more addicted? Hmm? See, such small things can bring out something. Hmm? But you have to read some literature. You have to read some literature. And need not be only what you call primary data collection. You can have a compilation over the secondary data. And you can work over it. This need not be all the time what you call. Okay.
When it comes to now, formal structured paper, SPSS, regression analysis, and how can we do a simple? For that, I need a guide, proper
Okay.
guide.
Okay.
How can we, as a beginner, how can we do a simple article?
Have you published that article?
It's our college library, college library,
No, in journal. So-
our only college.
So you improvise that article. Take a permission from the college authorities and first publish that. So as I said, you require ideas in your own field. Once you've got ideas and generate those ideas and try to put in the practical terms. How to study about it. That's a review of literature would help you out. Huh? So once you don't okay, this is done, this is not done, that's a research gap. Hmm? What's the methodological faults were there in the previous studies, which you can overcome that also can. But don't waste your paper, don't waste your data collection. Okay, if it's really good, publish in good journals. You can still do it. How many years now? Previous years, you can still do it, use the same data, talk to your guide, your rigid guide. He or she will be definitely happy to publish because they also get some credentials over it. You can do it. Each journal has got a website nowadays, so you can directly contact them and they have got standard guidelines. Please remember standard guidelines they have and you have to go according to those guidelines. And if it's not according to the guidelines, they'll reject or they'll send it back and they'll ask you to resend it if they find it interesting. And few of the journals, the editor himself, without even circulating to the reviewers, he might send it back. It's not fit for our journal. So you have to look into the journal expectation. What kind of papers or articles they publish. So usual websites are there, and there's interested fields are there. So definitely you can look into. But hard work is required. You cannot say just publish a paper, not so. You have to work really hard. Go with that general standard, what they expect, and even the specifications should be there. Table should be like this, figures should be like this, writing should be like this, abstracts should be like this, references should be like this. So that also you have to take care of. More questions?
In case paper was rejected,
Hmm.
do they show any reasons for the rejection? After that, can we modify that?
Yes. That's what some people do. They send it to high-end journals and they give the comments. Your paper is not accepted because of these reasons. You correct this and send it to other journals. The people have done it. People have done it. You can. In fact, sometimes it's a good person. They give really good comments, which can really improve the quality of your paper. Yes. Nobody asked question on AI, but now there are so many questions. Okay.
Previously, it was that there are some three groups, now addiction.
Okay.
Like, how do we find it? How do we like identify people?
We ask them. Yes, but difficult. But it's because we have to maintain the confidentiality. So we don't.
Do they trust?
No, we don't ask their names. We say names not required. Anonymity we maintain. That's a confidentiality in ethics. Okay. And you only if they want feedback, we give the feedback. Otherwise, we don't give the feedback. Hmm?
One of the major reasons is the time the journalists take to publish.
Yeah.
So once done real good work, then I have to wait for 8 months, 10 months.
Sometimes it's 1.5 years also. Hmm.
So it's like some questions start writing research articles. So once it gets published, then he gets encouraged to do more and more. So which one do you actually suggest researchers which they need not wait for many months?
To start with, you can go for a good peer-reviewed journal. You can go for peer-reviewed journals, which may not have what you call Scopus Index IDs or Web of Science or PubMed tags. But at least you can start with the what you call peer-reviewed journals. But because there are some journals which publish overnight, I don't expect you to do that. You get number of publications, but what is the impact factor? How many citations? So you have to be careful about it. It will take time. What you call in index journals, definitely the publication part takes time. Minimum 1 or 2 reviews will be there. They'll send it back to you for a full stop or comma also. You have to manage that. Very rigid. Because they have to maintain the journal quality. We don't blame them because they have to maintain the journal quality. They have to be like that. Okay. Yeah.
So given that in Franklin universities, they also need articles to be published to maintain their rankings and accreditation. And we need publications to have a career growth. On the other side, the publishers are asking thousands and sometimes lakhs of rupees for publication. Somewhere around this, we are trapped in the loop to meet the targets of publication. We are losing the essence of curiosity and passion we started with.
Usually I found some of the universities, they fund if you publish in a good journal, at least either full funding or partial funding, which you have to convince the management or the institution people. I know sometimes it's $2,000, all comes in dollars. That's really going to be a big price. But some of the institutions definitely bear these charges. In fact, institutions would be happy to fund this because it's from the institute, and after your name, there's an institution name would be there, and the institution can showcase, okay, our faculty has published so many articles. I think usually institutions will have that one provision. So you have to find out that.
Like Q1, Q2.
Yeah, that's what. Now understand why Q1, Q2. More questions? So, okay then. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to interact with you for 2 sessions. Dr. Noor Mubashir is here. And Department of Physics, right? Physics and IQSC. Now, I thank you all for giving me an opportunity, and the take-home message is try to publish more articles. Use AI in a way which will not affect your creativity. Publish and flourish. Thank you.
Used in research and enhancing research visibility and impact. It was truly informative. Thank you for your valuable time, sir. As a token of appreciation and gratitude, I request our resource person to kindly receive memento. I request Thomas sir, IQC coordinator, to kindly present a memento to our resource person.
Today I have to tell one thing. I'm the first batch student of Sir.